Hey guys, it's Dwane here from Nutrition Commando. Today's talk is health and fitness for the busy business owner. We're going to touch on a few topics today, briefly, just due to the limited time that we have. Some are going to include the impact COVID's had on the health and fitness, what changes we've had to make to our routine because of this, and what changes we can make to make things a bit easier for us going forward. Why we need to get healthy and exercise regularly, and how can we do this without having too much of an impact on our daily lives. So firstly, we're going to go over how COVID has impacted health and fitness. Prior to March this year, we all had our set routines. We commute to and from work. We do a 9 to 5. We'd have our regular breaks. We'd chat and interact with colleagues. We're able to move around freely without any restrictions. So basically, we would have been moving a lot more. We would have a lot more structure to a day and a lot more interaction with other people. Whereas now everything's done virtually through Skype, Teams, etc. 95% of us are working from home full time. It's a whole new experience for us. Now most of us are not used to being at home 24/7, and we kind of like that time out or break away from the house as it's a change of scenery. Whereas now we're kind of going from bed to the kitchen table and back to bed again. Most of us probably don't even get dressed on a daily basis now at this stage. And there's so many different changes that have been forced upon us because of this. One of them is because we're constantly sitting at a kitchen table hunched over the laptop instead of set up properly with our screens. There's a lot more musculoskeletal issues, a lot more back, neck pains, chest issues, leg cramps, because we don't have a routine. We don't exercise as much. We're not getting up and moving out around. We're not getting out as much. A lot of people also have a lot of sleep loss due to worry or fatigue. A lot of us drink a lot more regularly because of Thursday or whatever other excuse we're going to be using. 40% of people are exercising less now. 30% are eating less healthily. And even though we're working from home and it is more relaxed, 40% of people have said that the work pressure was too much and did not have enough time to get their work done. A lot of people are actually working longer hours and are averaging an extra 9 hours per week. This is down to the fact that we're not taking our proper breaks. We don't have a 9 to 5 as such. Because we're spending that time at home, it all blends into one. The whole day is kind of gone. Before you know it, 6 or 7 o'clock and you've done a couple of hours overtime. I was the same when the first lockdown came around. I was getting up at 20 to 9. I was in the office at 10 to 9. Just thrown on wherever. The only kind of time I would get up and move around would be for water, coffee or a toilet break. Lunch, I may only take probably 15 minutes. Just throwing the food into me. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't taking proper structured breaks. Whereas previous to all this, I would have had a regular routine. I would have started work half an hour earlier. So I'd have an hour and a half lunch instead of an hour. I always would have had gym and swim gear, swim bag in the car. So I'd always go for a swim or strength and conditioning session at lunchtime. And I'd keep a set of run gear in the locker. So each day of the week I'd alternate between the three of them. Either a run, swim or gym. Whereas lockdown started, this all changed. I kind of got lazy. Started chilling out a bit more. I lost motivation. It's a bit like what most people are doing nowadays. I think some of the biggest issues for people now are accountability, time management and motivation. People haven't figured out how to work these into their schedule or routine at home. So you kind of need to ask yourself, why do you want to eat better and exercise more? What gives you the motivation to prioritise these over other things in your life? You need to keep asking yourself this until you can find your compelling reason why. Your why. I'll give you a little example here. So if you think of your time as a jar that we can fill with a finite number of pebbles, rocks and sand. So big rocks represent the stuff that's most necessary to fulfill your life, often related to family, life, health. Examples such as getting enough sleep and doing well at work, earning a living. Pebbles add extra satisfaction to life. They're not really necessary, such as hobbies, being a competitive athlete, working on a competitive project. And sand is purely competitive bonds. It can be enjoyed, but it's not crucial to your survival. Stuff like watching TV, scrolling through your social media, maybe even going out socialising, drinking with your mates. Everyone's rocks, pebbles and sands look different. But regardless, if you fill your jar with too much sand first, you're not going to have enough room for the rest of the stuff. One way we can kind of keep track of this and see how it's going is to keep a time journal. Because your schedule can reflect your priorities and activities in life. You can track this over a couple of weeks and see how well you're doing with your activities. For example, say 7 to 7:15, you woke up, brush your teeth. 7:15 to 7:30, you checked your social media. 7:30 to 7:45, you're still on your social media. So on and so forth. So at the end of each week, you need to analyse and compare the time you actually used to the time that you planned on using. So you need to see what your actual time was, see what time you spent on work, sleep, exercise, against what you desired, what you hoped to achieve, meal prep, your time with loved ones, exercising. So without judgment, you need to ask yourself if your schedule reflects your true priorities. We need to try and increase our health and fitness activities by increments of 15 minutes. To start and align your schedule with what you want to accomplish. Replace the low value activities with high value activities little by little. You can start just by adding 15 minutes of healthy meal prep by replacing 15 minutes of watching TV. We need to create systems that can make health and systems faster and easier for us. With a little time and effort up front, you can create an environment that significantly reduces the time, such as keeping whole foods in sight, establish a morning routine to chop veggies, protein, complex carbs in bulk. Maybe sign up even for a healthy meal delivery option. And I find that keeping berries and greens in the freezer is very handy for the likes of super shakes and stuff like that. So obviously we can't go to the gym now, but most of us had joined the gym previously closer to work because it was more convenient and feasible. It's easier to get to and from. So instead of doing that now, why don't you try and get yourself some home workout equipment? They can be picked up fairly cheap and they're fairly easy to use. So previously, like I said, I would have kept a packed gym bag in the car. Whereas now it's a gym gear or workout gear beside the bed in the morning. So it's a quick session in the morning, whether it be a bodyweight workout, a run, or maybe even something simple, just like a light stretch or a bit of yoga. Leave the weights and resistance band lying around for a quick workout. As you can see there behind me, I have the kettlebells and resistance bands, which I use throughout the day. Outside, I have a pull-up bar outside. So every time I pass that, when I'm going out, I do 5 pull-ups. You'd be surprised how that all adds up over time during the day and the week. So even though we're restricting our movements at 5k, we can still go out, meet up our friends in the park, go out for a run or a walk, just to catch up, even just to get your own mental health right. It's a massive effect on your nutrition and physical fitness. Another thing we need to do is to put meal prep into your calendar. If we wait until we felt like it, a lot of important things wouldn't get done. You need to schedule it in and stick to it. And then you need to review it at the end of each week. Did you use your time to support your health and fitness goals? If you did, explore what worked and keep doing that. Celebrate it because you deserve it. Then maybe you had 15 more minutes of healthy meal prep the next week. If it didn't work for you, what did you do instead? Was it low priority sand stuff? Like watching TV, scrolling through social media? So maybe you combine some of your lower priority stuff, like watch TV on the treadmill or while prepping food. Maybe reduce environmental triggers. Using an app that limits your internet time. Maybe get coaching for your accountability and motivation. Possibly delegate or hire out important tasks such as what I mentioned earlier, like the sign them for the healthy meal prep delivery. Or arrange scheduling between yourself and your partner so that you can go out and get your workouts done between you. Combine your rock activities with health and fitness. Like take work calls while out walking. Maybe you need to get coaching to develop better systems or realistic goals. So as you can see, being healthy and fit is like an iceberg. Eating well and working out was only the tip of the iceberg. It's supported by all the thinking, prioritising, strategising and planning that goes on underneath. Eating well can be a real challenge most of the time, but at times of stress can be a low priority for us. The importance of health and fitness can be underestimated. Fuel is food for our body. And these times we really need to look after our health and immune systems. So one of the most popular questions I get asked from people is, do I get a meal plan? Can I get a meal plan? Does it even work? So the answer to this is simple for me. I don't believe in meal plans, but you can't blame people for answers because they've been a staple to fitness and nutrition. Coaches have been taught to create them. Clients have been taught to expect them. But unfortunately, most of the time, meal plans don't work because meal plans are explicit prescriptions. Eat this exact thing at this exact time in this exact amount. For example, you'll obviously like breakfast at 7:30, 3 scrambled eggs, a couple of veggies, a slice of toast, and a glass of water. The morning snack at 10, say a protein bar and a handful of mixed nuts. For lunch, maybe at 12:30, 4 ounces of chicken, 2 cups of salad, a handful of seeds, and a glass of water. Maybe at 4:30, then after your gym session, skip whey protein, half cup of frozen berries, and a tablespoon of omega-3 oil, and 12 ounces of water. And then for dinner, you could have a 4-ounce steak, cooked veggies, baked potato, and a glass of water. They might be thinking, good, I'd like a plan like this. I'm sick trying to figure all this stuff out on my own. Just tell me what to eat and when. Unfortunately, when we try and follow rigid prescriptions like this, lots of stuff that can and often does go wrong. For example, just try a couple of scenarios. Unfortunately, is that you just don't stick to the plan. No matter how enthusiastic you are, meal plans can be tough to follow. This is normal. Life gets in the way. You get busy, we're not always prepared, kids get sick, you're expected to work late. It's always someone's birthday or a special holiday. Sometimes you just don't feel like having a protein bar at 10 o'clock in the morning. What's more, if you've actually played to have someone make a plan, you might find yourself subtly and not so subtly rebelling against it. This is all normal. But unfortunately it means you might not get the results you hope for. For instance, the meal plan you hoped would actually help to lose weight would actually encourage you to gain weight instead. Secondly, you follow the plan rigidly. In fact, you followed it too well and for too long. Because most meal plans are meant to be temporary. Meant to help the person get to a specific goal, drop a few pounds, or get ready for a wedding. Our bodies can usually adapt to eating differently for a short time, but if it's too strict for too long, you could end up with disordered eating habits and lasting health and metabolic and hormonal consequences. It's a third scenario. You follow the plan for a little while, but it sucks. It's really crap. It's not sustainable. It doesn't make you feel any better. It doesn't keep you sane. Maybe you see some short-term results, but you hate living and eating this way. You never want to see another stupid piece of lettuce or measure out 4 ounces of chicken again. Because eventually sometimes will cause you regress or quit altogether. And then you miss your big chance of learning how to make big, long-lasting, healthy changes. One of the biggest, generally unacknowledged meal plans is to focus on nutrients. Real people don't eat nutrients. We eat food. We go out often with other people. Meals that match our cultural background and social interests, and we rarely measure things. Sure, sometimes explicit prescriptions are necessary. For instance, professional athletes or bodybuilders use these meal plans to prepare for trainings and competitions. Prescribe meal plan to someone's situation might look something like this: 1/4 cup of dry oats, 3 ounces of turkey breast, steamed cooked broccoli, 5 almonds, 1 omega-3 supplement, and 1 cup of green tea. But most of us don't need that level of surgical precision. We don't normally need ounces of things or refer to food as nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids. Instead, we eat food like hamburgers, tacos, salads, pastas, noodles, sandwiches and wraps, stews and curries, cereals, granola, casseroles. So the bottom line, if you want to eat better, you don't have to weigh and measure everything. You don't have to count every ounce. You have to ask yourself, is someone paying you to do this? And if the answer is no, you likely don't need this kind of approach. You just need to think about what you're already eating and how you can make that a little bit better. So this means fiddling and adjusting, making small changes and improving on what you already normally eat and enjoy, one step at a time. Think about a spectrum of food rather than good or bad foods. When you play with the idea of a full spectrum of food continuum, you get to experiment with what you eat and how you eat. Think about it as a game. How can you play or make this meal a little better in every situation? In which situation is that easier or harder? Your choice are limited, for instance, when you're travelling, eating at work. So how can you shoot for it just a little bit better and still be realistic without trying to be perfect? So let's transform breakfast, lunch and dinner real quick. So here's how the food spectrum might look on a daily life. So let's start with breakfast. So stage 1. Let's say your go-to breakfast is whipped cream and coffee, a chocolate croissant. Pick her up in the garage on the way to work or wolf her down the car on the way in. This is your starting point. It's not bad. It's just no longer working for you. You get indigestion from rushing. The croissant doesn't really hold you at all. And you spill the coffee all over yourself. The game is to improve your breakfast just a little bit. Start with what you already have and do. So stage 2 is your opening moves in the meal transformation game. So maybe replace the croissant with a whole grain muffin. So instead of a Z cup, you get regular coffee with a single cream or sugar, and grab a yogurt cup on your way out of the house for a bit of protein. So naturally you're still rushing and busy, so you're eating your breakfast with some distractions or scrolling through the emails. But it's a solid start. So next stage is next level gameplay. So you switch the muffin to granola, you switch to Greek yogurt, switch the cream to 2% milk, or even go black. Add some colourful fruit. So now you're eating out dishes on a table instead of out of a takeout package on the dashboard of your car. You still check out the news headlines, but that's no problem. We're all only human. So now you're really starting to play like a pro. You change rushing and panic to set aside a little extra time to enjoy your leisurely breakfast. Have everything prepped, an egg frittata, veggies in advance for food that day. Your coffee's become green tea because you notice that too much coffee has tweaked you out a little bit. And your protein is colourful fruit and veg are becoming the stars of your meal. And you discover that you really like them more. What? Who are you eating? You're eating more mindfully now, feeling relaxed while watching the sunrise. So let's move on to lunch. So at this point starting out, the idea of a sit-down lunch feels flat out ridiculous. Eat slowly. Who has even time for that anymore on their busy day? You're grabbing a burger and going. Another dashboard meal, another stomach ache, another regret. So decide you want to play with this meal too. So to tweak this meal a bit, you go to a higher end burger place where you're pretty sure they use real meat. A side salad with a burger, maybe just a few chips. You have a diet soda instead of regular soda, and you don't eat in a car, but you do eat by your computer. You're still progressing, that's okay. So at this stage, you're going to do a little prep work. We're going to make the burgers advanced so they're ready to take to work during the day. Also, grab some nice cheese and whole-grain buns from the local market on Sunday. So for lunch, all you got to do is take the home-made burger with you and put it together and work. You're still grabbing a Diet Coke to wash it down with. So now you're moving from your desk to the kitchen table or the canteen where you socialise with your family or friends. You can just relax as well. So moving on from that now, you're having a burger now without the bun alongside a nice prep salad. So instead of staying to your desk in the office, you're taking a break, sitting outside, some fresh air where you can enjoy a meal. For a drink, water's all you need now. So let's move on to dinner. It's 8 o'clock, you've finished up after an insane day at work. All you want to do is put food in your face and die in front of the TV. You can't even imagine making anything more complicated than pasta and sauce. Ketchup and hot dogs as fancy it gets. So maybe you got some protein, maybe some from the help of rotisserie chicken that you might have grabbed on the way home. So side salad, just grab a handful of pre-washed greens out of the bag. Work is still in your mind and a couple of drinks to take the edge off. So things are getting fancy now. You up in the protein by a little more chicken, having a little less pasta. We've also added a nice big salad to the mix. And you cut the booze down to one drink. Plus you're sitting at the dinner table instead of flopping down at the couch. So again we're playing at a pro level here. With your meal plan and prep strategies each week, you can whip up a traditional salad in 3 minutes flat, and you're pretty good with some quinoa on hand. The rotisserie chicken is still a fast, convenient option, but now it's got some healthy buddies. You're indulging in a glass of good wine these days and taking time to savour this. So as you can see, meal transformation is not about perfection. If you're at stage 1, all you got to do is shoot for stage 2 or even 1.5. If you're at stage 2, aim to go again to stage 3. If you're at stage 3, well, hey, you might just stay where you are. You might never get to stage 4, or might only get there the odd time when you're really relaxed, have an amazing day. So the rest of your days are kind of a mix of everything, 1, 2 and 3s. How far you progress along the continuum all depends on what you want, what you need, and what you can reasonably do in your daily life. Over time, things can change. Play your game. So how can people possibly do all that? One success trick is having a food prep ritual. So the idea is pretty simple. It's got to plan your healthy food in advance. Makes healthy eating convenient and easy. Also make decisions easy. You don't have to make the choices of what you have to do. Your food prep you can do can include chopping or arranging the food, regular meal planning, washing and chopping veggies, cooking and prepping protein. For example, cook up a loaded batch of chicken breasts, cooking meals in bulk, which is really handy and super simple, such as casseroles, stews, chilies. Prepare more of the dry ingredients for things like super shakes, which are healthy to bang up in minutes. soaking grains or beans beforehand so they're ready. Sorting foods into smaller containers or freezer bags. Freezing and refrigerating foods for later. This is great for next day eating. So planning healthy meals that someone else cooks, like I mentioned earlier, possibly using a meal delivery service. So you need to look ahead to ensure your healthy eating strategy in the next few days, especially during difficult times. For example, if you have a busy week coming up, you may have travel, you've got a family crisis. Mix and match any of these to find out what works for you. You need to experiment with the systems, skills and strategies that work for you in your life. The real goal of a meal plan is to stop using a meal plan. Fit and healthy people have good relations with food. Don't need people to tell them exactly what to eat at all times. They lead a fit and healthy life. It doesn't require perfection either. If you're using a meal plan, it's fine. Some people like prescription. Perhaps you have to working toward a specific short-term goal, like cutting weight to compete in the competition. You just need to make sure you get enough nutrients to support your health and fitness goals. Try and make the meal plan to work around the way you live, not do the way around. If you're a parent, a student, anybody living in the world, real world, most of your meals will fall in the spectrum of 1, 2 or 3. So this experiment will bring on a little bit better wherever you can. Remember, all goals require trade-offs. If you want to achieve a high level performance, you've got to understand what you're prioritising, what you're sacrificing. Getting very lean comes with a cost. You've got to make sure that it works for you. If your meal plans make you feel overwhelmed, or guilty, or regretful, or bad, or it's overly reserved, makes you preoccupied with food, or any other negative, unproductive emotion, this can result in you falling off the wagon hard, getting obsessive and compulsive with food, restricting food in a food group, and doing all or nothing, which usually ends in nothing. You start trying another approach. So consider where you are on the spectrum. Where's your food game at? What level are you playing at? What level do you like to play at? Given your goals and your current situation, what's realistic? For example, if you're currently at stage 1, your goals are stage 2, or you're at stage 3 most of the time, and you're dipping into stage 1 or 2 more often you like, you aim to try and stay a bit more consistent. It's one small step at a time. So pick 1 minute at a time to transform and focus on that. So maybe how I order meals at stage 1 and focus on getting your lunch to stage 2. Using the examples that I've previously meant to work on. Things like adding protein, adding veggies or fruits. Eating less processed foods. Eating more nutrient dense whole foods. Drinking less alcohol or fewer sweet drinks. Drink more water. Eating in a calm, relaxed setting. Eating more slowly and mindfully. The main thing is not to try everything at once. Try fill it with 1 or 2 and see which works best for you. And once you improve 1 meal a day, try another. If you're feeling a solid 2 or 3 stage, move on to the next meal. If you get more protein out, try and switch out sugary soda for more soda water, adding in more veggies. But you need to be patient. All these small steps add up. Notice what makes it easier and simple for you to eat better. Then figure out how to do it better. Does the plan help you? For instance, how can you do more of that? Could you set aside a little bit more cash to get 2 meals a day from a healthy meal delivery service instead of 1? Or set yourself time on a Sunday afternoon to cook meals in bulk. It's great. Keep on that. Book it into your calendar. There's no right way to do this. You need to do what works for you. The meal plans usually don't address how you eat. Before you change what you eat, you can also try to change how you eat. Like you can slow down your eating. Relax. Save your food. Sit at the table if you can. And use real dishes most of the time. Give yourself some time and space to appreciate the taste and concoctions you put together. Mealtime is your time. Sometimes you might just want someone to tell you what to do. And that's fine, especially if you're juggling a lot, but only for a while. Look for a while to help yourself intuitively, wisely make better choices instead of just following the rules. Think long term. What do you want to happen over the next few months, a year, 10 years? Do you want to be on the meal plan for the next few decades? So today, if you could take 1 step toward a better end of the meal spectrum, what might that look like? How can you start playing with the meal transformation game today? So just a couple of little more tips now that you can maybe help you along the way. So if you don't fuel machines properly, they're not going to work the way you want them. Human beings need to be fueled properly too. Making sure you eat well is important to staying healthy at work. Stress eating bags of chips or skipping meals because you're busy won't help you. You need to limit your fast food and alcohol intake. Packing your lunch is one good way to skip out on that quick burger. The food you eat should be rich in vitamins and nutrients. Taking daily vitamins is a good idea also. And even though you're busy, you don't want every meal you eat to be on the go. Take time to sit down and have a proper meal. You need to take time for you. So if you constantly do things for your business and never have alone time, you might need a break. Take the time to do the things you love to do outside of your business and spend some time by yourself. Everyone can find a better work-life balance by scheduling time for themselves. It's okay to recharge. In fact, you need to. Better health at work could be just a breakaway. You also need to take time for others. You need to make time for others. Don't ever get so busy that you forget to spend time with your family and friends. Loved ones help us stay sane, well, most of the time. And they're also a big reason why you run your business. Family and friends are there to celebrate your achievements and comfort you when you hit the rough times. Let the little things go. If you're like me and you're going to get stressed out from time to time, you might even feel like a failure at some point. As a small business owner, you're going to deal with people and circumstances that stress you out. Maybe you have a customer screaming your ear off. Let go of the feelings of hurt, pride and frustration. Be quick to forgive those who are attacking you. There's some battles you're going to lose and some you'll win. Let the little things go so you don't harbour the stress, negative feelings or anger. Being healthy is all about nurturing the mind, body and spirit. So I'm just going to finish up now. So I hope you've enjoyed today's talk. And if you have anything that you want clarification on or something that you need help with, feel free to reach out to me at Nutrition Commando on Facebook or Instagram. Once again, thanks for listening, guys.